Okay, we're back. Good morning. Um, we are recording this at 5:37 Central Time, United States. So a couple of things. Number one, um, I have often talked about the greatness of the Microsoft LifeCam. And yeah, I know it's beating a dead horse, Terry. I know, but the fact of the matter is, we love it, right? Because why? Whatever they did when they made it, they did it so well that we cannot. I don't see any other camera that even comes close to it. I don't know. Maybe Logitech does, but I've never bought one. Or maybe other camera producers are close to it, but I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, this LifeCam was so good and is. There's no need to, do another one or to get a different brand. But here's the issue with this kind of stuff when it comes to webcams. Drivers. Say you buy one LifeCam and then you get another one. Oh, you can't do that. Actually, you can, but it's a kludge, right? Here's the problem. Unlike an IP camera, where every camera has an IP address, webcams don't. Let's just say, look at the webcam driver that's in your computer as an IP. And every subsequent camera that you buy of the same model uses that same IP, which it can't do. It won't, it burps on it. So you can't do that. But you can if you use, I think, a different application. Okay, I know. So you're looking at your webcam in one application, and then you got the same webcam brand. Everything's exactly identical. You have to open it in a different webcam software. And then, as we're doing now, look at it in OBS. It doesn't always work. The long and the short of it is, there's a bunch of conflicts going on. You're asking the computer, well, I know it sounds hard to believe, but you're asking the computer to do too much. Well, accurately, you're asking the drivers to do too much. And here's the problem. If only they would have made the drivers flexible or something of that nature, then maybe the situation would be resolved. But that's not the case. So, you have to have one LifeCam and then one camera of another brand. And then if you're having another camera of another brand, yada, 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 okay, that's the only way you can work pretty much guaranteed every time you switch it on. So what we're looking at right now, overhead, is a brand of camera. I don't remember what it is. It's not the LifeCam. I know I have two. It's not the LifeCam. It's an animation camera. A still motion, stop action camera. All right. So the camera, so what you're seeing on the left is the fact that and that's also interesting, by the way, our camcorder's offline. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's either off or the battery ran out. Okay, wait. Okay, how does the camcorder work? Right. The camcorder is outputting HDMI to a HDMI capture dongle, and that is USB to the computer. So HDMI out to the dongle, which is video capture dongle, USB on the other side of the dongle to the computer. That's how it works. I don't know why it's off right now. I'll check it and then come back. Overhead, we have our webcam, a long extension cord. And that's the other thing we wish would happen. Well, we wish somebody would make a wireless webcam. What does that mean? It just means that it may have a single driver, but it's wireless. You don't have to run a wire. Okay, I'm not entirely sure that I was never in, videos, cameras. I was in, audio. All right. So, and by the way, I want to make sure before I go any further, this is actually working. I think it is. Okay. Sorry for the volume. Now, somebody might say, why have you emphasized or had issues with audio, by the way? Or why is it focus of your attention? Well, okay, as I just said, I'm an audio guy. Okay, a date from, all right, back in the day, which for me is really back in the day. I know it may not appear that way, but in truth, in 1971, I was 11 years old. What that meant was 1972 through 1978 is when the grand era of music was happening and was a massive influence on me. Ergo, I went to school in the States for music and moved from that to film. Yes, I wanted to go to Hollywood, but I didn't. I ended up just doing documentary films. Okay, and I went back to Canada for a time in Toronto, and then moved to Phoenix, and the rest is history. All right, so the camcorder and this audio situation. Well, okay, forget the camcorder. The audio situation is the fact I'm wearing a lavalier microphone right now. And that lavalier microphone, again, got it off Amazon, is a brand called Kima Fun, which I assume by its sound is either, I don't know, Korean or I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. It works. It's a wireless transceiver set. So one thing is clipped to me, and the other one is stuck in my computer with an 1/8" audio jack. And both of these are battery charged, are battery operated, so they've been charged. But here's the interesting thing. At one point, I said to myself, when I plugged in the dongle, if you want to call it that, for the receiver that's plugged into the computer jack, 1/8" audio jack, microphone in, I said, it's got a USB port on the side of the dongle. I'm like, well, wait a minute. The battery keeps running out. Why don't I just plug it in and use it while it's plugged in? I wasn't sure if I could do that. It appears that I can. So of that dongle plugged into the computer, I've got a USB cable plugged into it, which is the charging cable. And that's running over to one side of my computer desk and plugged into a wall wart. So it's charging or giving power to the dongle all the time. Well, that's really interesting, right? And so where's it going? When you have that capability, now you say, well, wait a minute. The lavalier microphone you're wearing is the same thing. The battery's going to wear out. No, it's not. Or at least it won't for a very long time. Why? Because I picked up on Amazon again a really slim, thin battery bank that I can put in my pocket and take the cable and plug it right into the dongle of the microphone that I'm wearing, the lavalier microphone. And so you're probably thinking, whoa, really? I'm like, well, yeah, I hope. I haven't done that yet, right? I'm hoping that I'm going to find out presently. If I plug and does it get warm? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if that little battery bank, it's really thin, really small. I'm not sure if that battery bank is going to get warm if it's in my pocket and plugged into the lavalier microphone dongle. So you see there's the dongle that I'm wearing, and then there's a dongle that goes in the computer. That's the transceiver set. That's how it works. Okay. That was not, well, it kind of was and kind of wasn't where I was going to go with this. The reason that this came up is because of that. And so I thought, I better record this. Now, okay, let's call this part 2. We'll fight on the desert. No, we'll fight in the island. Anyway, that was my Churchill. Anyway, a second reason that we're here is that the old program, which is what we have a lot of, and now I've forgotten the name. It's too early. What's the name of that program? It was a mapping program. All right, stand by. I need to find out what it's called. I know. Electronic cardboard. All right. As you know from our website, we have posted a request that if anybody knows the creator of the electronic cardboard, please have him contact us because we want the guy to work with us. We want to resurrect the electronic cardboard. Why? Because it seems like it's a really damn cool thing. Well, it broke. What does that mean? Why all of a sudden? I don't know why all of a sudden. It seemed like I was using it normally, and everything was fine. I believe he wrote it in Python. Now, all of a sudden, it started to break. What does that mean? The icons that we were placing on the screen were losing their connection to their code was getting messed up. The code was breaking. As I added more images to the icons that you place in the program, little icons you move around the screen, as I created more icons, they would get messed up and and they would become the name of the previous icon. The names were, there's a glitch. Windows or the program don't know. User, I don't know. But the fact is, it was propagating and getting worse and worse. So something happened, and I don't know why. But it broke. So every time I created a child icon, it took on the persona of the child I created previously. So when I created a child icon under a parent icon, say tanks, I created tank 1, tank 2, tank 3. Tank 3 would become tank 2, and tank 2 would become tank 1, and it would lose it. And after a while, I realized, oh, okay, so that maybe is what happened to this program. He put it out there, and it was an issue, and nobody really realized it, or maybe something else happened, or maybe this is just now happening because of Windows changes. I don't know. The fact is, I had to stop using it. And all the work I had done in it is now gone. I mean, no sense using it. So we're back to using Game Mapper, which is Wes Rogers, a friend of mine from Boeing, who made this program called Game Mapper, and it's no longer available. But we're using it because I was helping him distribute it, and as part of that, I was able to keep using it. So I am. We've gone back. We have gone back to using Game Mapper, but you, public, you can use anything you want. Use Vassal if you want. Use Cyberboard, but we don't bother because we got Game Mapper, and I say we, my brother and I. So Game Mapper is what we're using instead of electronic cardboard. It's almost exactly the same approach. Whereas you have a background map and you have images on top. Game Mapper, however, is more sophisticated and was withdrawn from public distribution years ago. But it still works, albeit it has nuances. So we're using it, and we're creating scenarios for ourselves to use. But again, you can use anything you want with the same philosophy, the same idea of a map on screen that both players can either look at live, either sharing in Skype or sharing or in some other way. But when one person's running the software, the other person could also watch it. And just like these cameras, actual broadcast of a miniature game, can issue orders, send email. You can do this as a group. You can have many people watching at the same time, many people involved at the same time, and that's the whole idea. Did this come because of COVID? No. This was actually happening before COVID, for years, actually. We were doing this broadcasting, we'll call it simulcasting, way before COVID. The idea, the intention was a group over in England would have a game table, and a group over in Minnesota would have a game table, and they'd be identical. And both groups, clubs, would run the same game at the same time. Of course, the coordination is necessary, but the point was it was fun, and it is fun. It just takes a little bit of, time displacement, right? But anyway, so that's how it works. And so that's a wrap of all of this content. This discussion is about the technology used to do this kind of thing. And I'll come back, I suppose, and find out what's going on with the cam. I guess it's just maybe powered off, which could be. or the dog has destroyed it and it fell over and it's now on fire. I'm not sure. Anyway, so there it is. Thank you. And questions, comments, please email us and get to the website at imagineimage.org. Thanks.